Guys, if you want to interact with any of the operating system, maybe let's say Linux operating system, there's a two different way you can use to interact or you can interface to the operating system. One is using your graphical, or you can use your mouse and click and start your program. That is called GUI. That's called graphical user interface. And one way is with the help of running some program, that is also known as command, and that is called command line interface. Mostly in the Linux world, or in the Linux operating system, or in the Linux server, we and industry prefer to use a command line, that is called CLI. So this video is all about to know the very commonly used commands, or I can say the most basic command to kickstart the journey in Linux, right? So what I'm doing here, I'm just moving to my screen where I have already login, right? So this screen where I have already logged into my system. Now it is doesn't matter your system is running locally. When I say system, I mean to say Linux operating system, or it may be running somewhere over the internet, or maybe it is running over the cloud. In my case, this OS is running on the top of AWS cloud. So this is my Linux command prompt that's called Linux CLI, and then I would like to start the things from very zero, from very basics. So this screen is normally known as Linux terminal. Sometimes it's also known as console. And here you can see there's some icon and some mouse is or cursor is prompting. And what they're asking, they say if you want to interact with this OS, you can't use as such your mouse, right, to interact with the OS. You need to run some program that is also known as command. Okay, for example, if you can type date is one kind of command or one kind of program. You can run this command and system will understand what exactly you're looking for. So they treat this as a command and they will run the date for you. So in this case, guys, this date is a command, and wherever I run this command, this is known as command prompt, right? And there's one more name for this. So wherever you run the command, behind this in this one kind of program is going on who take this command and run for you. That program is known as shell. Okay, so that is the reason this command prompt is also known as shell prompt. Okay, now we have multiple different commands for every different activities. For example, if you want to see the calendar, we have a cal command. By default, they show you the calendar of this particular current month and the year. Okay, now next thing is, because it is very common thing in the operating system, what normally we do, we normally want to store some data. And if you want to store some data, right, you guys know this thing maybe, for example, so if you want to store your data, and obviously you want to store your data permanent, and whenever you want to store your data permanent, you need maybe pen drive or certain kind of hard disk, that is also known as storage. So to store your data permanent, you need a storage. Okay, but in the storage, if you want to store data, okay, the minimum requirement is you have to put your data inside some file. So without file, it is almost impossible to store your data in your hard disk or in your storage. Okay, let me use the word hard disk, SD called hard disk, or maybe storage. But to create the file, okay, the minimum requirement to create the file, we have to first create the folder, and folder is the one who going to manage the file. And in the Linux, normally folder is also known as a directory, because they are the one who are maintaining the directory of the file. Okay, so if your requirement is, if you want to store a data, you have to create a file, and for the file you have to first create the folder. Okay, so let me start from here. So we have a command called mkdir, means make directory. Okay, and I'm just going to create a directory. Let's say my directory name would be Linux world directory 1. So this command will create directory for you. To confirm this directory is created or not, we can use ls command to list. So in my case, guys, some of the files I already have, but let's focus on this part. So this is the directory we have created. Mostly in the Linux, they show you directory in the blue color. Okay, so this new directory we created, or like a folder we created. The way you do in the graphical, you normally do double click in graphical to go inside the directory. Here my double click doesn't work, so instead of double click, we can use cd command to go in this particular directory. Cd means change directory, and from the command prompt you can see now you are into this directory. And because you have recently created this new directory, you can use obviously this directory would be empty. So if you run ls command, you will see nothing is there. This is the new empty directory. Okay, now what I'm going to do, inside this particular directory or the folder, we are going to create a file, and motto is in this file to store some kind of data. And in Linux, there's a lot of way to create the file in the Linux. Okay, one of the simplest way is to use touch command. Touch is a command. You can use touch command to create the file. You can give a file any name, or also you can give a file any extension, nothing very technical. Okay, again you can use the ls command to see. So this is the file we have created, and touch by default, guys, create a file that is empty file. If you want to put some data, again there is a multiple way to put the data in the file. One of the way you can use to put data in the file, or that will also help you to create a new file, right? For example, cat is one command. Okay, so using this command, you can do multiple things. For example, if you can run file1.txt, your file name, so it will show you what you can think. Cat command is a one through which we can read the file. So right now the file is empty because touch is the one who created the empty file. But with the same cat command, you can do one more thing. There's a symbol here greater than. By the help of this symbol, you can put some data in this file. So I'm hitting enter, or let's say I'm putting my name, hi Linux world, enter, hello something. So you can keep on typing how much data you want to put, how much number of lines you want to put. You just keep on typing, and if you think you have to just stop and close this file, you can press Control D together, right? Control key from your keyboard plus D together to close it. Okay, so now again if you do ls, your file is created. It was already created with this command, but what this symbol do, this symbol check if this file is there. Okay, they will recreate it or delete the content. What I mean by this, in a minute I will explain to you. Plus this symbol also help you to put the data in this file. And how can I check this? Again, we can run the cat command to check does we have some content in this file or not. So now we have some content. Whatever content we have added is been saved in this particular file. This symbol is very dangerous. Just be aware. If you use this symbol see if this file is not exist, they will create for you. If this file is exist, they will recreate for you after removing the entire content whatever you have. So if you hit enter, and let me put some text here, again do Control D. Okay, now what you will see, your older content has been removed, has been override, or in the simple term I can say this file first they remove and they will create a new for you. Okay, but if you don't want to remove your older content and you want to append or add the new content or on the top of older one, right, in the last line, so instead of this symbol you can use this double greater than symbol without any space between this symbol. Okay, what this symbol will do, okay, if the file is not exist, they will create a new file, or if the file exists with some content, they won't overwrite, and whatever the things I type, let's say I'm typing BBB here, they will add in the last line, or they will append in the last line. Again I do Control D, and if you try to put and not put, if you want to see the content of this file, you can see it has been appended in the last lines. Again, understand one thing, touch command is only used to create empty file. Cat command you can use to read, to create new, put some data, append some data, or write some data, whatever you have. But cat is not a text editor. What I mean by this, if you want to edit some content, there's no way in the cat command. For example, I want to edit second line. I want to just go to first line and remove it. So normally the things that you do in your text editor, right? Those things you can't do in your cat command. So, or with the help of cat command. So in the Linux, we have one text editor that is very famous, that's called VI. So with the help of VI text editor, you can open any of the file or you can create a new file. So let me use VI as a command. It is also a text editor of the command line. For example, the way you have text editor in Windows. For example, if I go to my Windows and open the Notepad. So Notepad is a text editor. By the help of Notepad, I can type some content, right? I can type some content, then I can save the file. I go to any of the line, edit this. So this is called text editor. Same, but this text editor is called graphical based text editor. We can use your mouse to format, to edit, to undo all the things we can do here with the help of the mouse. So we have, these are the command control panel here to help us to edit what you want to edit and save and other things also. But in the command line, as such, your mouse doesn't work. So in the command line, normally we have a text editor that is our command based text editor or CLI based text editor. VI is the one of the text editor, right? So if I hit enter, okay, if the file has the content, they will open the content for you. But by default, guys, VI will take you in a mode. This is the mode called command mode, or I can say control mode. What I mean by this, if you just type some text here, thing is not working. If I'm typing some numbers here, it is not typing here. Okay, because by default they are into the control mode. You can think it is something like this, like say if you go to text editor Notepad. So if I take your mouse on the top buttons, and from here if you try to, for example you are here, and from here if you try to type something, it won't work, right? And for typing, you to just take your mouse to this wide screen, click your cursor somewhere, and then you can start typing. Okay, same thing. Okay, because in the command line your mouse doesn't work. So what you have to do, to going to this kind of wide screen, okay, you have to press some command, that is a VI internal command, that's called I. So if you press I from your keyboard, okay, it will take, if you see in the bottom, they will take you to the insert mode. Okay, it is something like this. You go to this kind of wide screen that you normally do in your normal text editors. Okay, now what can you do? You can use your normal mouse wherever you want to go. You can type, hit enter, edit, what I want to do. You can do it the way you do in normal text editor, right? That's all. Now if you have to save this file, all right, because this is the pure CLI here, Control S is a normal shortcut you use in your graphical. It doesn't work here, or in the graphical normally you take the mouse in the top and save the file with save button or save as button. Okay, but here your mouse doesn't work. To go to the command mode or control mode, right, in the VI we have one keyword in your keyboard that's called escape key. So if you press the escape key, you can see your insert mode gone, right? And now whatever you do, there's a command. For example, you want to save this file, then we have a command called colon. As soon as you press colon, your colon will be print in the last bottom bar. And if you press W is one command here that will help you to save this file. And now you can see your file with this much lines and characters written to your hard disk, because you are saving, and anything that you want to save, it will always save in your storage or in your hard disk. If you again want to type something or insert something, again you have to press I to go to insert mode, type what I want to type, edit, right, do it. And then if you want to again save, press escape key to go to control mode, then press colon W to save. And this time you want to save, and plus if you want to do exit also, press Q also together. Q means quit. It will exit from this file and again take you to the command prompt. Okay, if you do again ls, this is the same file we was working on. Okay, but if you want to use VI to only to read the file, just go to the file, open the file, now read the content, and because there is nothing to save, right, you just press colon Q to quit the file. Okay, And vi is not only for just working on the file that is already exist. If the file is not exist, you can just give the new file name. Vi will create the file for you. Okay, they say here the new file. Obviously this new file, just go to I, means press I, just type something, edit something. You want to save the file, press escape, :W to save. If you also want to quit, you can just press Q to quit. Okay, and if you do ls, you will see there's 2 files created. It is not like this file is created over vi, so you can only use vi to read this content. Okay, there's other editor also. You can use those editor to read the content or edit the file. Or maybe if you just want to read the content, you can use cat command also on this particular file. So you can use the cat command, or maybe you can use the cat command on this file to append new lines. For example, I'm typing bbbb here with Control D to exit from this program. Again say cat command, they will be appended. So because this file is there in the hard disk, so you can use the cat command, vi command, or multiple other command also we have to read, to append, to edit, whatever the functionality they support, you can do on those. Now let me again quit from this file. Let's say there's one more very common thing we use in vi. For example, if this is the file we have, and if you want to edit or insert something, just press I, insert something over here. Okay, but after insert something, you feel that I don't want to insert something, and in this case normally either you do undo, okay, or there's one more things you do. If you don't want to do all those changes, for example, this is the notepad in the Windows. If you do a lot of changes here and you don't want to save it, so normally what you do, you just press on close, and they normally prompt you and say that you are trying to exit this program. If you exit, your content will be gone. So you are intentionally exit, or you want to save it first. So we say no, don't save. I want to forcefully exit from this program, or intentionally exit from this program. Same thing guys here also in vi, right? So for example, if you again press escape key, and now if you try to exit without save, okay, they will hold you. They say no, I won't allow you, your data will be gone because you're directly exit without saving. So either you can save the content, but I don't want to save. Okay, but here if you say no, I intentionally want to exit, so we have to forcefully exit from this program, and for exiting forcefully, you have to press :Q and then this exclamation symbol. Okay, the symbol means I want to forcefully exit from this program. Enter and exit it. So whatever the content you edited, it won't be saved because you forcefully exit from this program. Like this, there's a multiple more way. Okay, but these are the very basics facility to you can do something on the file. Now this is a file we have created. If you have a requirement to rename this file, so then we have mv command. With the help of mv command, we can rename this file. For example, I want to rename this file with ff.txt. So this file, okay, will be renamed to this file. Rename means the content will be same, only the file name will be different. Okay, or if you want to create a new file, that's called copy paste. So you can use cp command. Let's say I have a file called file2.txt, and I want to create one more copy of it, let's say with a name called v.txt. Okay, so copy will create a new file. So this content from the hard disk will go and create one more time, and new file will be created with this name. Okay, so copy is a command you can use. Very basic concept of the operating system you should know, that is the path. Okay, so what I mean by path, let me explain you while draw in my this whiteboard. So what I mean by path I'm referring to, right? So typically guys, I already explained to you, if you want to store any data, minimum requirement is you need a file. But file always be there in some of the folder or the directory. But if you want to create the directory, again directory would be again somewhere in some of the other directory. And if you want to get this directory, then again this directory will be somewhere in some other directory. But obviously there should be some top directory, there would be nothing above it. So that particular top directory is also known as the root directory. Okay, and typically if you talk about the Windows operating system, okay, in the Windows operating system, the top directory is normally C drive. Okay, but if you talk about Mac or the especially the Linux operating system, the top directory that is not anything above that particular directory is the slash directory. So the slash is also known as slash drive, or it is also known as the root directory of the system. Any of the folder, okay, or directory in your system would be beneath or underneath this particular directory is called slash directory. So all the files, all the directory would be under this particular directory. It is also known as under this particular tree of the slash. Okay, so it means if I again go to my screen, okay, right now I'm into this directory, or we can think in this way: we have a data that is there in this file, but this file is there in this directory, but this directory would be somewhere in other directory, and that directory would be somewhere in some other directory. So it's like a one inside other, then inside other. This that is also known as tree. So they would be like a tree structure, but the top directory would be under your slash. So if you want to know your present working directory, where are you? Obviously I know I'm into this folder, but where this directory is. So we have a command called pwd. Okay, and what this command will say, you are into this directory right now, you are present here. It's called pwd. Okay, but this directory would be inside this directory, and this directory would be inside this directory, and this home directory would be inside your slash directory. What a requirement is, right now if you run this command, they will tell you you are in this directory. You can see from here. So we can use the term here, my current path where I am located right now is this particular directory, but this directory is under this directory, this directory, and this directory, and two directory guys is normally separated by, to show that there are two different directory, we use a forward slash. Okay, but if you talk about the home is there in your the top root directory that's called slash. Okay, so if you go to guys in the Linux operating system, wherever you go, you will be always inside the slash directory only. How can we prove? So to prove this, what I'm going to do, wherever I'm right now, I'm trying to go up. Wherever you are, the directory that is above you are also known as your parent directory. You know, it is something like this, like in graphical programs, wherever you are. So there's a arrow called up arrow. By the help of up arrow, you just go to your top directory or your parent directory. So if you want to go up in your parent directory, okay, in the graphical you can use up arrow somewhere in your explorer. But in the command, right, we have a command called cd dot dot. So this dot dot means I want to change my directory and I want to go to up and my parent directory. So let me show you how can we go. Before this, let me first clean my screen. There's a lot of content here. So there's a command in the Linux called clear. It will clear your screen. Again, let me run the pwd command. And if you want to go up, then we have a command called cd space double dot, and you go to your up directory or your parent directory. How I know? We can use pwd command. And again, if you want to go to up directory, means whatever you have about this, that's called home directory. Again, you can run cd double dot. You will landed here. Again, if you run cd double dot, you will land it slash. But slash is your top directory. Nothing is above the slash. That is called root directory. Again, if you try to do cd double dot, you won't be go up. You would be there only. Either you can check from here. I'm so sorry. The command is pwd, or you can check from command prompt where you are right now. So just trying to prove you that slash is your top directory. And if you want to see the content of this directory, so there's a lot of folder in this directory we have. This folder is created by your operating system whenever the operating system is installed. These folders and lots of enter files or data they have created for you. This is one thing. But one more small thing I just want to tell you here is, if I can go to my screen, okay, whenever you log in your operating system, so whenever you log in your let's say Linux operating system, obviously guys, for login you need some account, and guys, account is also known as user in the Linux operating system. So if you want to log in, right, to the Linux OS, you need a user. So in my last video guys, I show you how to log in by some way, okay, but however you log in, okay, when you log into the Linux operating system, always landed to one particular directory, okay, they should be always there in some particular directory or the folder. So whichever directory guys user landed, okay, that are known as home directory of that user. Home directory. Home normally means, let's say we have some user, for example, in our case, we have a user called ec2-user. That's what we are using from my last videos also. Okay. Or maybe any user you have. So whenever you use this user to log in, wherever you by default landed or you be reach, that directory is called home directory. And why is known as home? Because motto is, or intention is, after this user login, they put their content, files and folder there, and wherever they put their content, that will be their home. That is the reason they are known as home directory. Interesting thing is you can use cd command to go to any of the directory. You can use cd double dot command to go to pan folder. You can go to any of the directory, okay, but wherever you go, for example, let me go to my command prompt again. So right now guys, I am into this folder, okay, and let's say you want to go to one folder called let's say var folder. So I can use cd command and give the folder name, you would be landed there. Again, you can pw command, you are into /var. Again, to ls, you can see a lot of content they have. Inside this, let's say you want to go to folder called logs folder, log, right? Just type here. Now you landed here, they have a lot of content there. Let's say here you want to go to one folder called audit folder. Okay, there's an error here. Why this error come up, we'll see in some minute. So let me go to a different folder, maybe anaconda, they allow. Why this error was there? In some minute, we need some sudo power to go. What is this? We'll discuss. So we are here. Again, if you see where you are into this folder. Now what I'm saying here is, right now I am login with, you can run the command called who am I. Right now I'm logging with this particular user. You can see from command prompt also. So whatever user guys you have login with, okay, and after login you will be there in some of the folder wherever you go. But if you want to go to your home directory, then we have a command called cd, and if you hit enter, they will directly take you to the home directory. And the same directory, if you just run the pwd command, the same directory where you log in first time, means when you log into the system, okay, first time wherever you landed, this is the same folder. Okay, so just to, if you want to check this again, log into the system again, the way you log in here, okay, and run the pwd command, you will see that kind of folder you will see here. And there's one more way to check, okay, are you in your home directory or not. For example, if you go to any of the folder, for example, you go to var folder, it will prompt it here. If you go to log folder, they will show you here. But if you are in your home directory, there's one symbol, this called this tilde symbol. By the help of this tilde symbol, they will try to tell you that you are right now, whoever you are, or whatever username you are, right? But right now you are in your home directory, and this is the same directory, okay, you use, okay, that is same directory you landed when you log in first time. That is your home directory. If you run ls command, you can see guys, this is what the folder we have created. And if you go inside this folder, these are the content we have created inside this. And one more small thing, it normally is good practice, whenever you give any folder name in your command line, it is good practice, you can put / in the last. It's not compulsory, but / normally represent and tell to the system that this is the folder, this is not the file. Okay, but if you give any file name, let's say this one, normally you don't have to put the / in the last. So if you don't put any / in the last, it means it is just a file. So they give the error because in this folder where I'm in, this file is not there. Let me open some other file. Okay guys, one more small thing. File normally have the extension, but it's not always the true, so don't be confused, right? So for example, if I create a file with this name pop, for example, put some data, there's no requirement to have the extension, right? So by looking at the file and by looking at the folder, let me create a folder called lwdir123. Okay, so this also don't have an extension, this also don't have the extension, right? But this is a file to put the data, and this is the folder to keep some other files, other folders. So that is the reason I was talking about having slash in the last is good way to tell somebody that this is the folder we are working on. Now, if you have created a file, if you want to remove the file, we have a rm command. Let's say I want to remove the file, give the file name, they will remove. Okay, so if you want to remove the directory, you can use rmdir command, remove directory, and give the directory name, it will remove for you. Okay, but rmdir command guys only work if the directory is empty. What I mean by this, if you go and create a directory, let's say with the name called AA, okay, this directory created, I'll go inside this directory empty obviously. Let me create multiple file here. You can use touch command to create multiple file, A, B, C, D, 4 different files created. Okay, inside this particular folder, let me go out because my intention is to delete this folder. This is the ls command, this is the folder we have, I want to delete. If you run the rmdir command and try to delete this directory, okay, it will fail. So they say directory is not empty, okay, because you can't use rmdir command to delete this. Even though technically, I don't want to further elaborate more, but technically there is no command as such available in any operating system in the world to delete a directory that is have some content, that has some files. Why? There's a lot of technical reason for this, we might discuss somewhere. Okay, so the only way to delete the directory that has a content is to first go inside this directory, pick first file, remove it, pick second file, remove it, pick third file, remove it, remove one by one. After this entire directory remove, I can say after this entire file remove from this directory, then you can remove this directory with some kind of command like rmdir. But this is a very manual way, right, to go and manually delete one by one. That is a reason in the rm command they have an option called -r. R means go in this directory, because the directory I'm using slash here. So R means go inside this directory, okay, pick first file, remove it, pick second file, remove it. After this directory entirely empty, then delete this directory. So let me show you this option. Okay, so internally this directory has been removed, but what they have done, okay, they literally go to this directory and pick one by one, remove it. And how can we confirm this? Let me show you one more way, one more time to create this one more directory here. Okay, let me create multiple file A, B, and C. Let me create some file with the cat command, p.txt with some content. Okay, so there are 4 files we have. Okay, some files are empty, this file has some content. How can I confirm? In ls command we have an option. Okay, -l is one option here. What they do, they will give a long list of all the commands. So ls is the command, and mostly commands come with some extra facilities. Those are known as field or switches or the options, whatever I want to use here. So ls command only show you the file names, but you want to see some more details. So ls command has some extra function or extra option that is normally served with hyphen and give the option name what you want to see. So L means show me the detail of all the files you have. And what they show you here, these are the file names. They show you here at the last time we modified this file, plus they show you the size of the file. So this 0 means 0 bytes and this file is 5 bytes. So similarly guys, most of the command come with some extra option. For example, rm is a command. Okay, they use to remove the file. But if you want to remove the directory, we use a extra option here called -r, means recursively remove the directory. So mostly most of the commands come with some extra options. If you want to do some extra facility on those commands, you can use those options, and option normally start with the hyphen. Okay, for example, ls is the command. But by this command, if you want to check this file exists or not, so just give a file name p.txt. They show you this file exists or not. If they exist, they will give the file name. But if you try to use this file like a d.txt, because this file don't exist, they show you this is not exist. So ls also you can use for this option. But let's say if this file exists and you want to see some extra detail of this file, for example, I want to see the extra details like long list. You can give the option name -l. They show you some extra options here. Okay, but there's some concept. For example, internally in the hard disk, every file internally gives some unique numbers. That's called inode number. So if you want to see the inode number of this file, there's one more option called -i you can pass here. They will tell you the inode of this file. So initially they give some number. So this is very much useful, even though if the file deleted, there's some way to recover the file where inode number is very useful that internal system used to do something. So that is not the important point here. I'm just trying to tell you here is every command you can do something on some file or directory or something else. But if you want to do something extra, they come with some extra options. Have an L, have an I. Every option is doing something for you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But yeah, you don't have to memorize all those options. So every command normally comes with some kind of help or manual. So there's one command in Linux called main. Okay, and by this command you can see the manual of almost all the command. So let's say I want to see the manual of ls command, you can use main ls. So they open the manual of this command and they say this command list to help you list the directory content. Okay, and here they give you synopsis, means the syntax of this command. You have to use the ls command, then a file or directory name. Okay, and then you can pass multiple options, and entire option list they will present here. So if you go down to the different lists they have, for example, we have used in our case one option here. If I show you in a minute, I option, they will print the inode number. Okay, or we have an L options to print the long list. Likewise, there's a multiple different options. Have an K, have an H, have an N. Every option is doing something for you, and this manual is very great. Most of the manual they show you some examples also in the last, the author and some further if you want to connect with some the developers and the document writers. So everything they have, and if you want to come out from this manual, you can pass this Q option here to quit. So guys, I highly recommend if you are new in any of the command, always refer the manual. It gives you a quick guidance about what extra they support and what the command meant for. Right now we are into this directory. Let's come to this same discussion, and we have multiple files. Let me go out from this directory or to the parent folder, right, where you have this directory available. And now I want to remove this directory. Then we have rm command. Okay, then give you folder name. To remove, we can use an R option, but I want to show you what is happening behind the scene. Okay, so what I explained to you, I have an R option will go to this folder, pick first file, then second file and third file, and one by one they remove. So most of the command guys come with the option called verbosity. There's option called -v. V means verbosity. So what verbosity do? They will show you what command is doing behind the scene. Okay, so if I hit enter, so they show you, they pick one by one this command, and after this entire directory empty, they remove the directory. That's what I was talking to you. Okay, so now we have guys run multiple commands. Let me again clean my screen. So either you can use the clear command to clean the screen, or there's one shortcut also, Control L, you can use to clear the screen. Now guys, we have run multiple commands. If you want to see how many commands we have run till now, there's a command called history. History command you can use to see the entire history of all the commands. So these are the commands we have run, and every command guys they give some number. This is called history number of this command. Okay, a very interesting thing about this number is, right, for example, there's some time, even though these are the very small command, but sometimes there's some big command, and if you want to run this command again, so you don't have to again type those particular big command. For example, I want to type this command, so instead of type this command again, there is a history number. So in the command prompt, there is one interesting shortcut. We can use this symbol called exclamation symbol, and then we can give a history number like 151. or 159 in my case. So what happened, guys? As soon as I hit enter, automatically they go to history. The symbol take me to history at this line. They pick this command and they auto run for me. Hit enter, can see here, they auto enter for me. In my case, I have some error because I done a small mistake here. This symbol has one more meaning. I'll show you in some minute. So in this case, you don't have to give any space. Without the space, you have to do this. Okay. So in the command prompt, this command prompt also known as shell, and there's multiple kind of shell program we have in our market. Right now, the shell we use and program name of the shell is called bash. So in the bash, this symbol has some more meaning. We'll discuss maybe in the future, but right now I don't have to give any space here. So they pick this command and the auto run, and this command normally create the file. So if you hit enter, you can see this file they created. So this option is very useful. Mostly if you have some bigger commands, just go to history, see the commands, and just type the history number, they will auto run for you. Normally, if your system is connected to the internet or network, mostly your system has some network card and the IP address. So we have one command called ifconfig, right? You can use this command. It will tell you that you have network card name is, in my case, ETH0, and in the second line, they tell you this is the IP address we have. This is called IPv4, right? This is one thing. Second thing is, if you want to check that your computer is connected to the network or not, or maybe in my case, I want to check my computer is connected to internet or not. So we can use a very simple ping command, and let me check to www.google.com. Okay, so if you ping, and in the ping, if they give you the time here, it means, right, let me do Control C. It means it is connected to internet, and this time means my system is going to Google computer. They will come back. That's called network packet come back, and this total time it consume. And finally, show me that my system is connected to the Google, or in the simple term, it is connected to the internet. One more small thing, guys, I want to tell you. If you run any command, either you can run the history command, just go and check the commands, or there's an up arrow key, up arrow, down arrow, so you can see all the history command that you run. So for example, if I want to run this command again, you can use your up arrow key from keyboard. This command again come, any change you want to do, you can do it, or just hit the command, it will run for you. This is one thing. Second thing, in the ping command, guys, in the Linux especially, this command run unlimited or infinite. They keep on running like an infinite loop. It won't stop automatically. Like in Windows, if you run the ping command, they ping 4 times, means they send 1, 2, 3, 4 time packet and they stop. But here they keep on running. You have to manually stop it. So if you want to run any program that is running in a command prompt, okay, in the Linux operating system, then we have a shortcut called Control C. So Control C is a way to terminate this program. And it is not only for this ping command. Any command that is running, for example, let's say you're copying something and it might take 10 minutes, you're copying and you want to stop in between, you can use Control C command to stop. There's one more command, one more shortcut, I can say Control Z or Control Z. Okay, most of the guys use Control Z to stop, but that is a very different things. Don't use Control Z. Okay, I suggest just go and search in the Google the use of Control C. I'm not discussing in this basic classes here, but Control Z is for a different purpose. Don't use it, right? So write shortcut to terminate any program that is running in your command prompt or on the top of the command prompt is Control C to terminate the particular command or the process. So guys, these are the very bare minimum basic command of Linux. Everybody should know this because this is very commonly used on day-to-day basis, right? So that's all. Just try and practice this, right? It works almost in any of the Linux operating system the same way the way I use here. Okay, that's all. Take care. Bye. See you.